It's Monday, March 9, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Health officials say 3 passengers who arrived in Barbados yesterday aboard the cruise liner Costa Magisha, exhibiting flu-like symptoms, tested negative for coronavirus or COVID-19. The ship docked here after being denied entry in Tobago, with a total of 2,307 passengers on board, including 417 Italians and 962 crew members. According to Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Anton Best, the 3 sick passengers comprised of 2 Italians and 1 person from Guadeloupe. He explained that a public health team boarded the vessel, tested the passengers, and all were negative for the coronavirus. Dr. Best also made it clear that none of the passengers or crew was permitted to disembark in Barbados. Meanwhile, Anglicans are being advised to avoid direct contact with fellow members as the church implements measures to safeguard its congregation amid the growing concerns about the coronavirus. Communion practices have also been altered, while the traditional sign of the peace, where worshippers hug, kiss, or shake hands, have also been suspended. The Diocesan Synod of Barbados said a nod, smile, or bow will suffice in the meantime. Rector of the St. Barbados Anglican Church, Reverend Mark Harewood, informed the congregation of the new measures yesterday.
Holy Communion should be administered in one kind only, on the species of bread, and placed onto the hands of the recipient only, and not onto the tongue. Our teaching is that Jesus Christ is received in the bread, just as in the bread and wine. Only the celebrant should drink from the chalice. Intinction is not to be done at this time. 4. Suspend direct physical contact as part of the blessing or laying on of hands. 5. The Church's duties of care extends to the members of the clergy. Kindly advise the faithful if they have influenza-type symptoms, they should not call the clergy for pastoral visitation. Pastoral support for parishioners who are unable to attend church services should be provided by telephone or social media. 6. Parishioners who fell ill and display influenza-like symptoms should stay home.
Churchgoers have welcomed the measures.
I agree with safety. I felt a bit awkward to be at church for the first time, but I understand what they're doing and I'm all for it.
I think in the interest of the whole coronavirus, that I don't think it takes away from the service. I don't think it away from people being happy to see each other. I think it is just a precautionary measure for now, and hopefully that once the virus is no more threat, then we can hug and kiss and so on. But I don't think that it is here yet, so we're still kind of lucky. But I don't have a problem with the say cleanliness is next to godliness. So if the whole thing about reducing the transmission of the virus for now, I'm all for it.
It's okay with me because you can't take any chances these days. So I agree with the changes. You just gotta live with them. It's all right.
I really don't have any concerns about it, but I think the good thing about it is that you are trying to prevent any spread of the disease altogether, which is a good thing.
I guess it's good in terms of prevention and to be proactive. I guess it's a good move.
You support it?
Yeah, I support it.
Meantime, the Ministry of Education says it's taking no chances with the safety of staff or students at public institutions amid the coronavirus fears. Speaking with reporters after Sunday's church service at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church, Minister Cynthia Bradshaw said education officials were being treated with the same caution as frontline public servants at the island's ports of entry.
We have recently been in discussions within the ministry about our PSAs, our public service announcements to the general public, and in particular within the schools, because quite recently we would have had a session with the Ministry of Health and the frontline workers, and we believe that just like the persons at the airport are treated as the frontline workers and the ports of entry, similarly our teachers or administrators interfacing with students themselves also become frontline workers as well, and therefore it is important that we engage them in discussions as to what are the signs that they must look for, what are the response mechanisms that must be in place in order to address students who they suspect may come to school and may present with these particular types of symptoms as well. So the ministry is involved in a committee with the other respective ministries that would have to weigh in on this issue.
In other news, Minister Bradshaw spoke on the ongoing debate on the proposed move to abolish the Barbados Secondary School Entrance Examination, also known as the 11+. She made it clear that no definitive timeline has been announced and firm decisions would only be made after consultations with all stakeholders on the issue.
When we were asked in relation to the actual transition and the time frame, we would have I indicated that if we could do it within a year, that would be great. But I didn't set a timeline and say it was going to be within a year. A year would be a wonderful thing, but we had to start the process of consultation. And I think that in the transmission of the media or by the media, attempts have been made to focus on a timeline as opposed to recognizing that what has always been said and what I will continue to maintain is that we have always consulted with the public. So before any timeline can be set, we have to first go into consultation and engagement. Yeah, that's ongoing. There's an advisory committee which has been established. Dr. Ida Mae Denny is leading that committee. There are several other persons from across the various sectors of education that are also in that committee. There will be other subcommittees that will be formed as a result of that.
Barbados is once again a stable and attractive place to invest. That's according to Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Marsha Cadell. She made the comment at a St. Michael South Central Branch meeting last evening under the theme Unpacking the Estimates, What It Means for You.
Imports of capital goods grew by 35% to $58.7 million, which is the highest rate it has seen in the past 10 years. That says, I don't know what it says to you, but it says to me, that people are investing. Because I am not buying any heavy machinery or fuel, not me. I have a factory. Who's buying it? Investors. People who are expanding their production. People who are coming in to establish new production. And so we know that investment is happening in these countries because these imports are about building export capacity. And whatever people might want you to believe, tourism revenues are up. And all of this is happening without compromising our position in terms of the reserves. So Barbados has been able to return to being a stable, predictable, transparent, and attractive place to invest.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
In news from the region, Guyana's Chief Justice Roxanne George will begin hearing arguments on Tuesday to determine whether elections officials will resume verification of votes in Region 4. A decision could come before the end of the week. Attorney at Law Neil Boston, who represents the Chief Elections Officer and the returning officer in the case, as well as other lawyers, spoke to reporters following Sunday's ruling. More in this report from HGP Nightly News.
Senior Counsel Boston explained that the team will have to file its affidavits on Tuesday morning. He explained how the ruling can affect the 15 days GCOM to constitutionally declare the elections.
I'm afraid she's going to hand it down before the 15-day period. I'm afraid she will come back on Wednesday and hand down her decision.
Attorney at Law Royce Ford, a member of the defense team, explained that his clients will have to adhere to the ruling of the court. He added that before Tuesday, the team will review its options. Well, Attorney at Law Anna Nanalal opined that the report prepared by the Chief Elections Officer of GCOM, Keith Lowingfield, was in violation of one of the injunctions filed by his party. He posited that GCOM cannot make any pronouncements unless Section 4 of the Representation of the People's Act is followed.
So Mr. Boston gave the court an undertaking that there will be no movement of that report anywhere, and the report will not and cannot be used until the case is heard and determined. We are to return to court on Tuesday. Mr. Boston is to file some affidavits. We are going to reply to them because we understand the urgency of this matter.
And finally, at least 10 people are dead and 23 are still missing after a hotel being used to quarantine people under observation for the coronavirus collapsed in southeastern China on Saturday. Rescue workers are still searching the rubble of the 5-story hotel. Authorities say 71 people were in the building when the incident occurred and dozens have been rescued. It is not clear what caused the collapse. That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.